Hi guys, for today's first impression I'm trying out a foundation that's relatively new in the US. It hasn't come out over here in the UK at the moment and it has been quite a struggle for me to try and find this, but I've managed to find it, and this is a Milani Conceal Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. Now the shade that I have is 02 Natural and this is the second shade in the collection. They do have 14 different shades and I've seen loads of reviews on YouTube of this foundation and it's pretty much just blown up, and I did look at swatches as well and people were saying that it's not for people that are super fair, and I'm tanned at the moment and this shade is pretty dark, as you can see. For the second shade this doesn't match my face, but it looks like it's probably going to be a good colour match for my neck, so I'm hoping that this is going to be good. I bought this from Amazon because it was the only place that I could find it, and Amazon was the only place that did this shade as well. It seems to be that this is the most common shade because this is the one that just sells out everywhere, and I decided to get this one because it looked like it was going to be the best colour match for me. And because I couldn't try this out in stores, I did look at swatches online and the first shade looks quite light for my skin. I am tanned at the moment. It looked too dark for my face but it looked too light for my tan, and the third shade looked very dark, so I thought I would settle on the second shade, and this shade is the only one out of the three lighter shades that do have a warm undertone to it, so I thought this would probably be the best one to match my fake tan, so hopefully it's going to be really good. So in the US it retails for $10 and over here in the UK I did purchase this for £10, so it doesn't really work out very well with the exchange rate, but I am going back to Florida in February, so if I do like this foundation I'm probably going to be picking up a couple more of these as well. So this foundation has quite strong claims on it. It says it's medium to full coverage, lightweight oil-free formula, long wearing, water resistant and sweat proof. And at the moment we do have a bit of a heat wave over here in the UK. I'm sweating at the moment just under these lights and it's really horrible, and the only foundation I've managed to find that actually is sweat proof and water resistant is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Literally that doesn't budge for anything. I can sweat like crazy and that will not move at all, so hopefully this is going to live up to its claims and hopefully it's going to be really good as well. So I'm really excited to try this out because I want to see if it does work when I'm sweaty and to see if it does still stay on throughout the whole humidity. So I've already moisturised my face, and on one side of my face I'm going to put my Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. This is incredible and it keeps me matte for a very long time, and I really do need this while it's summer, so hopefully this is going to work really well. I'm going to put this on this side of my face and then leave this side without any primer on just to see if it works and if it makes any difference during the day. When I took the lid off is that it does have a pump, which I'm so happy about because a lot of foundations don't have a pump and it just makes it more sanitary, and also you can get as much as you want out of a pump. So I'm going to pop this foundation on this side of my face and I'm going to use my beauty sponge for this, and I'm going to see how it looks, if it covers up all of my redness and if it covers up my blemishes. This does say that it's medium to full coverage, so we're going to see how it works. So I'm just going to pop one pump on and it's not coming out. Okay. There you go. So that's 1.5 pumps that I have on there. It's very thick, so it's not runny at all, and it looks like that it's going to be quite heavy on the skin. It does say that it's lightweight, but we'll see how it goes. And already this looks like that is way too much foundation, but I'm just going to pop this on. Okay, so this is extremely yellow. Like, this is the yellowest foundation ever. It does match me in these lights, but because it doesn't have SPF in it, I have a feeling that it's going to look very dark in natural sunlight. So, ooh, we'll see how it goes. So far it does seem to be covering everything up. All of the redness. Redness is pretty well covered up. I can still see some sections of my face where I still have a lot of redness on there, like my cheeks, but I'm just gonna buff all of this in. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the foundation on this side of my face and nothing on this side. It's done very well with the redness. I do still have a bit of redness on the bottom of my nose here, and also some redness on my cheeks, which I can notice. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but it has done okay. I think it's sort of like a medium coverage foundation. It's not full coverage because it hasn't covered up everything. My blemishes still look a little bit red at the moment on my chin here. I'm not sure if you can see in the video. And the colour is just very yellow. That's the only thing that I can say about this. It's very yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the other side of my face, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I finished off applying the foundation to all over my face, and I have to say I sort of like it, but I sort of don't. So what I did is I put one layer on both sides of my face, and then I had to use a little bit extra just to spot conceal a little bit more, and it looks like it's breaking up already on my cheeks. So I'm not sure if you can see, but right here it looks super shiny. It looks like it's breaking up and it's sweating off. And it does say that it's a sweat-proof foundation. Also on this side of my cheek, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it looks very shiny. And it just, I don't know, it looks like that it's not going to last the whole day. And it looks quite dark, it looks quite yellow, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to like this foundation and if I'm going to keep it on for the whole day. So I'm going to do the rest of my makeup, and I'm going to come back when I've finished it and show you what it looks like, and also let you know what I think of it. So I've just finished off my makeup, and already I can tell what I feel about this foundation. So far I really don't like it. I don't think it's going to last the whole day on me. It's definitely not sweat proof and definitely not water resistant at the moment. It just really is quite difficult to put on. I'm really hot today and it just doesn't want to stay on. I've literally just finished off my makeup, and it's probably been about 20 minutes since I applied the foundation onto the skin, and it just looks really strange. Parts of it looks really nice and flawless, and other parts of it looks really cakey, and already it's come off on certain parts. So with it zoomed in, you can see that I do have patches on either side of my nose. The foundation's pretty much come off there. I did use a blotting paper, and then I also tried to put a bit more foundation over the top, and it just didn't want to work at all. It just doesn't look very good. I feel so sweaty at the moment. I look really shiny, and for a foundation that says that it's sweat proof and water resistant and oil free, you wouldn't have thought that it'd look like this when you've just applied it. Literally, I've only had this on for about 20 minutes, and already I can sort of tell that I don't really like it, and I know for a fact I'm not going to keep it on the whole day because it's probably just going to end up coming off after a couple of hours anyway. So it's now almost 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to come back in a couple of hours and give you a quick first impression update. Bye! Hi guys, so I'm back, and it's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I've had this foundation on for 4 hours now, and I feel like I have a little bit of a different opinion on this foundation to what I did before, because when I first put it on it looked horrible, oily, sweaty, and it didn't go on very well and had patches all over my face. And I have been out and about for these last 4 hours, and I've also been to the cinema with my sister, and if there was anything wrong with my foundation, my sister would tell me straight away. She'd be like, this looks horrible, but she hasn't said anything about my foundation at all. Now I have noticed that this foundation has come off on certain areas of my face. So on my chin I don't have any foundation on there, it's very red, and also these sides of my face aren't as bad as they were earlier on with my noses. Now they were really bad when I first put it on, and it sort of broke up, but I feel like it sort of merged into my skin. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but it seems like it sort of melted together. I'm not really sure if I'm making sense, but that's sort of what it looks like. So around the sides of my nose it doesn't look as bad as it did earlier on. I do also have a couple of blotches on each side of my face that's come off. It's not giant blotches or anything like that, it's just tiny ones, so it's not too bad. And I have noticed that on the side of my face where I don't have any primer, I do have quite a bit that's come off on the side of my nose, and also it's sunk into my pores quite a lot as well. So after 4 hours of wearing this foundation, I do have a little bit of a different opinion to what I did earlier on in the day when I first put it on. I am starting to like it, so I'm going to come back in a couple of hours and give you my final first impression. Bye! Hi guys, so I'm back, and it's now 6:30 in the evening, so I've had this foundation on for 7.5 hours, and I feel like now is the best time for me to give you my final first impression. So I'm going to start off by giving you a quick update of what my skin looks like at the moment, and it doesn't look too different from when I did the last update. The only thing is on my nose it's come off a little bit more, my cheeks it's come off a little bit more as well, especially right down here where it came off at the first instance when I first put it on. It's pretty patchy right there, and also on the side of my nose. Also on my cheeks around here you can see that I do have blotches on there where it's come off, and that's the same on both sides. And also my chin, I have pretty much no product on there, and it's very red. And then on my forehead I have a couple of blotches on there as well, which is not the best thing, but it's done pretty well as soon as it's been on for 7.5 hours. And I did not even think when I first put this on that I was going to keep this on all day. I literally thought that I'd have it on for a couple of hours and then I'd just take it off because I would have had enough. So it's actually given me a pretty good first impression, as being as I really didn't like it when I first put it on. Another thing about this foundation is that it does accentuate the pores, and if you do have very large pores then it's going to make them even bigger. As you can see when I zoomed in, you can see my pores really vibrantly, and it's all on my head, also on my nose and on my cheeks as well, and it's not the best look for me. So if I do try this out again I am going to need to have a pore filling primer. So I'm just going to look at the claims and let you know if I agree with them. So the first one is medium to full coverage. I do agree with that. When you first put it on it is medium coverage, and then I feel like it is pretty easily buildable as well, so you can build it up to full coverage. So lightweight, oil-free formula. The thing is, it is meant to be oil-free, but it did make me look quite shiny during the day, so I'm not really sure what is in this product, but it didn't really look like it was 100% oil-free to me. And also it says it is lightweight. Now I do agree with the lightweight feel. It doesn't feel like I don't have anything on. It is lighter than my Estee Lauder Double Wear, but it does feel a little bit heavier than my cushion foundations. They're very, very light coverage and they feel very light on the skin as if you're not wearing anything. So it does feel like it is still on my skin, but it just doesn't feel heavy or anything like that, which is good for me. And also it says it is long wearing. Now I'm not sure if it is long wearing. If it is sunny outside and you are sweating, I don't think it's going to last that long. If it is sort of a day where it's autumn and winter, then I do feel like it's probably going to last all day. But as you can see when I zoomed in, I do have blotches on my face where it has come off. Today hasn't been the hottest day. I mean, I went to the cinema with my sister for a couple of hours, and in the cinema it literally felt like a fridge. So there was no way that I was sweating when I was wearing it. But it does feel like it's going to last quite a few hours, which is good. And if you do want to wear it to work, it feels like it's probably going to last a full work day as well. And it also says water resistant and sweat proof. So I'm not sure if it is water resistant because I haven't tried it out near water, so I don't know about that. And sweat proof, I'm not really sure if it is sweat proof because when I first put it on I was feeling very sweaty, and the only sections of my face where it didn't go on was right here, and it was just really strange. It's like I first put it on and then all of my patches were getting very, very sweaty. I was getting sweaty here, also around the top of my lip. I was getting sweaty down the sides of my nose and on my forehead. And the only place where it really didn't want to cover up is at the sides of my nose. And at the moment it's starting to look quite horrible around those sections, and it does look like my redness is peeking through as well, which is not the best. But I feel like I'm going to try this foundation out again. And when I do try it out again, I'm going to make sure that it's not really hot outside. I'm going to try and make sure that it's sort of like an autumn or winter day. And then I can test out and see if it does actually work with different humidities. So overall, I'm not really sure how I feel about this foundation. I sort of feel like I'm sitting on the fence because there are things that I do like and things that I don't like about it. For instance, some things that I do like is the fact that it has a pump. Also, it's super affordable if you live in the US because it's only $10, and you do get the normal 30ml or 1 fluid ounce bottle, which is really good. Also, it really reminds me of the Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo foundation. When I put that on, it felt exactly the same as this. The consistency of it is exactly the same. It comes off in the same patches all over my face, and it just looks exactly the same on skin, which is very strange. So like I said earlier on, I am going to try this out a couple more times because I do like to try out foundations a couple of times to see if I like them and if I don't like them, and then I can get a final overview of them. So I'm probably going to do an update in one of my hits and misses videos, so make sure that you stay tuned for that because I do tend to do some updates on some of my first impression videos, and I will link some of them down below for you so you can check those out. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it very informative, and make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Bye!